Hi guys, this is Marcus. I'm a poker coach at the Poker Academy, and today we'll be going through some hand review of the latest final table from the 7th of July of the Sunday Million. Before we start, let me quickly tell you one more time about our awesome poker course we have. So click the link below and join our course. And now let's just jump right into the Sunday Million. So let me quickly show you the players at the table. Therefore, I looked them up at TruckScope and, of course, hit the result from the Sunday Million to just show you the players so far. We have 9 players at the table. I could so far only find 7 players, but let's have a look at them. So where we can see there are quite some experienced players out here. Our Brazilian player, Alan Scheik, almost 300,000 plays, and he's active for pretty long, so he's a pretty good rack. Same goes for Jim Ballas and Di Maru. As you see, the others also quite good in the profit. Pretty good numbers so far, and yeah, the only one that is probably pretty unexperienced, you can also see from his count of numbers. Only 200 tournaments so far, and even a slightly losing player since then. So he might be the most unexperienced one. Those two, at least he reset his tracking, so he should probably have way more hands. And maybe he's also not that experienced, but it looks like he's also pretty good player. The other 2 players I could not find, so we don't have any more info on them. And let me also quickly show you, so to not spoil anything. The payouts we had for first to ninth place, so I just cut that out from from TrackScope to not show you the results already. So as you see, it starts with 8.5K and it goes up to 110K for the winner at the end. So quite a lot of money to play for, a lot of ICM pressure for all the players involved. And yeah, I'll be telling you the payouts when the players bust. And yeah, now let's just jump right into the tournament. So, yeah, everyone is wishing everyone good luck. That's always nice. And we have also already the first all-in standard spot. He has less than 20 big blinds, so 18 big blinds, pretty standard. He was fourth in chips at that time, even third in chips. No, fourth in chips here, but still standard spot. Raise and call the 3-bet. Let's see if the jacks can hold up. Yeah, and first hand of the Sunday Million, we already lose the first player. GG for him, 8.5K. Nice payout. So let's see. Here, this should be a standard open from a6. I think King Queen can probably 3-bet shove here. They will not call too wide. They have one shorter stack. He's even even third last in chips, so a6 should then be an easy fold for him because of the ICM pressure. And yeah, let's see. Yeah, he even exactly does that, goes for the 3-bet. And yeah, we gonna try to go through it a bit faster and see some exciting hands. Here, pretty standard spot as well. Just a open shove from the fours. Nothing too special here. Here we definitely will see. Yeah, open raise, and that is gonna be in a defend mostly. I don't think that raising makes that much sense. They're pretty even in stacks, and his range shouldn't be that wide because the 2 big stacks aren't, or 2 of the big stacks are in small and big blinds. So yeah, I think the Conti here is pretty fine with the gut shot, and I think you will call at least once here, which you will do. And yeah, now that's not that good of a continuing card because he doesn't have any clubs here. So, and he calls on the flop, so he might have got something here on the flop and will probably also not give up on the turn. And yeah, you want to play small ball here a bit to not have to risk that many chips with only ace high on the Sunday Million final table. And yeah, this is probably also gonna check now. And yeah, let's see. It takes some time. He's probably gonna check behind here, like after not betting the turn. There's a lot of hands that will call him on the river anyway, so yeah, he decides to check it. Now let's go back with some really exciting hand here. So UCG decides to go for the open raise, ace jack suited, standard one, and he gets 3-bet from the chip leader. So let's see what he's going. I would suggest you to just fold. Okay, now it's already the decision. So let me quickly stop here. So my decision would here to fold. Of course he's the chip leader, so he can maybe like push the people around a little bit. But then again, he opens from UTG, and he was one of the rather unexperienced players. So he will not do a lot of playing around with some worse hands, I predict. So therefore, if you three bets him from UTG as a rather passive player or not that experienced player, I think you can give him like a really, really strong range. And I can also show it to you quickly here. So I already prepared that hand, put in all the chips manually. You see here there's the opening from UTG, and we can quickly see what he should be three betting according to Nash. So you see his range is really, really narrow. And even though he's like the chip leader, so he might open a bit wider. So maybe do here this as well. If we then click here to see, then everything except aces and kings is just a fold. So yeah, even queens is a fold here, just also because of all the ICM pressure. There are three shorter stacks that are shorter by quite a bit. He has like twice the amount of chips that those three players have, and yeah, therefore it's just a fold. However, he decides to almost like click it back, and yeah, the button will now just shove it in. Uh, with kings, even though if he has aces, I think that's just a cooler, but yeah, he just shoves it in, and now he needs to fold this hand for sure. He already lost more than a third of his stack. Uh, and yeah, he just needs to give it up now. So let's see if he does exactly that. Everything else would be a bad play. Yeah, so he gives that up, which is nice. And let's continue. So nothing special in this hand. Same here, just the open shove here from the small blind. We will have some action. Let's go a bit quicker. So there was an open raise pre-flop, pretty standard to also defend here. And yeah, he has an easy c-bet here. I would go a bit bigger. Actually, on that board, I would go bigger than like a third pot because it's a really wet board. And yeah, if he bets here, like this is of course a value hand for it, but also always plus you should go a bit bigger. Yeah, and the three changes nothing for him, so he can just continue. And now he needs to give up his second pair. He doesn't have any flush draw behind that. So yeah, turn is then the give up. Now we have the ace king here. Let's get going a bit. Yeah, next hand. So this is also this. He can sometimes trap it, but I think because their range to three bet shove is pretty narrow, so I think I would go for the three bet here with ace king suited. And I think he's after two checks. He can then c-bet or bet the flop. Now it's just an easy call here. I really don't like his c-bet here into two players versus an overcard to his holding. So don't really like that. He like him on the button. Of course, he can have some pocket pairs, but I do think that he can have the king a lot. And now when he calls the flop, He's not gonna get if it's like eights, nines, or tens. He just flatted here. He's not gonna continue. He's not gonna give up on the turn as well. So at least the check on the turn then is fine. And now I'm pretty sure he will just bet it. He should bet it to at least protect if he has something like eights or something to yeah, charge like the draws or get rid of some other hands. Yeah, as I said, he just goes for the bet there and gets the fold. Nothing special here. Oh, I'm sorry. There was something special. He's down to 9 bigs, so yeah, that's quite an easy open shove. Unfortunately, he runs into a hand. Yeah, he needs the call. He needs to call here. And yeah, ace on the turn seals the deal. So we lose Dimaru in 8th place for 11.7k. Nice score, GG, and we continue 7-handed. We can now have a short look at this hand because I think it's kind of interesting if he should maybe even if he should 3-bet or even push here sometimes. I know the stacks are pretty huge, but because of the ICM pressure, he can call too much anyway. So let's have a look. So again, I put in all the different stack sizes so far, and yeah, we have ace-9 suited in the big blind. The button opens, and yeah, we're this time we are third. Yeah, we're third in chips. So I already calculated the Nash equilibrium. Also, we have his range. I think that's pretty good. He might. No, I think it's fine to open like this. And yeah, let's have a quick look. So we see he can actually push any two versus that. Of course, it's always really close, and we should probably at least put some difference in here to because of those close spots when it comes to this much money is a bit might be sometimes can we leave out those spots. But as you see, like just to put so much pressure on him, we can really just push so much. And now just to show you what we can also see. Um, the hero, then if we're on the button and get shoved on, can't really call a lot. So you see nines is really close, ace 10 is really close, and yeah, he should only call like really tens plus is then a fine play because this is also really shallow. So you see not much for him, so might be even good like to turn the pressure around and then yeah, just put it on the chip leader. But yeah, let's see what he does. Of course, it's because it's for that much money, it's then hard. But yeah, it would be an okay play, even though it's for 40 bigs, but still fine. So now he just decides to call, and then here it's really hard for him to continue, and it will probably go check, and he can just bet so much. I mean, the structure is also not that much favorable for him, but he can, because he's the chip leader, he can almost c-bet any two here as he will get so many folds, and he at least has some backdoor draws if the big blind is calling, and because he's the chip leader, so he's the still the aggressor all the time. So there's a lot of turns where he can just check behind and continue. But as seen, he just gets the pot there on the flop. And yeah, so he'll probably open here. We're gonna I even fold it. So there was a limp pot. And yeah, it just continues. So he got check on the turn, and now he goes for the late bet on the river. I think we do have a pretty easy call with the 10 here. Yeah, exactly. He does the call, makes the call. So right move. Now we have the open race with the fours here from the cutoff. I think that should be a 3-bet again. He flats again, so we had that scenario as well. So I think it's a mix. Sometimes 3-bet, sometimes flat. As king, always yeah, you don't want to flip. You don't really want to flip all the time. So being this deep, I think flatting is also fine. And maybe he does induce some some squeeze here. Yeah, this is probably gonna be. I would suggest check it, but yeah, I mean, nah, it's fine. It's fine. Do at least one bet one time on the flop. He's gonna get rid of a lot of hands already, like some maybe ace jack, ace 10, ace queen and stuff that will only be flatted. And yeah, now so on the turn, I don't think he should continue anymore. It's gonna hit some of the buttons range. Then I said he's also gonna continue with like queen 10, at least one street, jack 10, ace 10. Can also already have some kings here. So yeah, and here we can yeah either like go for a small bet, even maybe sometimes check to induce some bluff on the river or to get an easier call on the river then. And now in this case, yeah, he's just should give up his force. So good play here. Let's go up a bit. Now he goes for the 9-8-0, and yeah, in this case, the first time we got the 3-bet on the button with ace king. So let's continue here. There was an open race, and don't like that flat too much. He is deep enough, but then he's gonna welcome the big blind as well, and you're playing three ways. So yeah, I would probably at this stage sometimes 3-bet it or mostly fold it. Yeah, he goes for really small c-bet, maybe also to induce the big blind, and it even works. So there's the check raise, and this is probably just gonna go all in, and maybe we will lose Huanga 84 in 7th place then, but let's see. Arlem is taking some time, but I think, yeah, I mean, there's not. He even just calls on the flop. Okay, and now, yeah, it's just an easy call on the turn. Probably as actually a good play to maybe induce, to maybe even give up on if some straight draws come or something, but I don't think he will ever give up. So anyway, we lose Huanga in 7th place for $16,180. And yeah, that was a short break, I think. Exactly. So we have King Queen here versus Ace King is probably going to be the play. So we're going to see an open race here. Small blind will 3-bet again, I guess. And let's see if he's able to fold it this time or if he's going to make some kind of play again. And he decides to shove it in for 27 big blinds. Yeah, Alden Cheek's not going to fold here. Probably just taking some time to go through all the hands he might have, but in the end, Ace King is then an easy call, and that's it. We lose Yu Yiping in 6th place for $22,000. And yeah, we're already down to 5 players. Alan Cheek just increases his chip lead more and more. So you see he always has like yeah, at least 30% of the chips, if not even more. So he can just put so much pressure on the players. Here it's yeah, just gonna be raise call, raise fold. Let's see here. Ooh, I don't really like. Before we see the result, let's take a quick look at the IC miser for that. If he should shove that 980. So I created the isomizer again. Let's have a look here. I calculated the Nash equilibrium to see how the pushing range should look like. And as you can see, it is a slightly plus EV even to slightly plus EV play to do that with the 980. As he can even push, yeah, he can almost push 80% of his range. Let's see what he can call on the other side. It's like 45%. So yeah, in this case, it was a pretty close one. Not sure. The thing is, he is last in chips, so the big blind was last in chips here already. So therefore, he might call a bit wider because the ICM is not that big. Like the fourth place has like 3.5 times the amount of chips. But yeah, anyway, still the play was okay. He ran into a way better hand and he flopped him almost dead on the flop already. So double up for our snowman Tony here. And yeah, let's continue, see how this will work out. I'm pretty sure there's gonna be an open race here. You can also just gonna say you can maybe even try to mix it with some limping strategies sometimes from the button, especially on final tables. This might work. And whoo, he induces here the small blind shove for 20 BB. I like that play. Unfortunately, the big blind wakes up with ace queen here, so we need also when Tony needs a 6 here to survive, and let's see if he gets it. Oh wow, he gets the split. Lucky, lucky him, lucky him. Here it should probably as said, he's the chip leader, so he can put so much pressure on the people. So if it gets limped to him, he can probably almost he can almost raise any two here. This case even I think it's fine to limp call, but now even with third pair, it's really hard to continue. And yeah, he just gives it up. Let's jump a bit forward. So next hand here, open raise, call, and now I do think he should continue here for like a third or even more. It's a wet board. Sorry, it's a wet board, so he can continue here. Um, now here, if he does not bet the flop, I do think he should check back the turn as well if it gets checked to him. And yeah, I don't think that there will be a lot of bluffing here from the big blind, so I do think they're gonna play pretty honest here as it's Sunday Million final table, and yeah, this is just gonna check, I'm sure, and then ace high is gonna get the pot. And yeah, that's exactly what happened. Yeah, set like 6 9 can the button can just open so much here. Here it's probably gonna be a reshove with almost 20 big blinds. If he folds, then he's the second in chips, so he can also open pretty wide. But yeah, ace five, he definitely needs to fold. So yeah, let's skip a bit to see if we have some more interesting hands. This got limped, and now he can just c-bet the flop. Again here, some limping strategy from the button. Let's see. Oh wow, he just decides to shove it. So nobody likes the button limps here, but nice shove from him. This is just gonna be an open shove or some, maybe that could sometimes to induce, but I think there's not that big of a difference if he's already raising 3.5x to just open shoving. As said, he might sometimes induce something from some players that might get annoyed that he's trying to steal here a lot. But yeah, so let's skip a bit here. Okay, let's go back. So did he check behind that flop? I would, I don't really like that. I do think he hits that flop so good, and versus we don't want to give the big blind too many chances to improve the hand. And yeah, even though the big blind's range is pretty wide, and he will probably fold a lot of flops, especially if it's like queen jack jack here. He will probably fold a lot, but I still do think we should flop here just to take the pot directly. And I don't think there's going to be that much bluffing here. In this case, he even traps him after rivering the straight, and he's probably also not gonna bet it here. Like he will not ever get called by worse. Yeah, he checks the blind. So as I said, like he could just take it down on the flop here. We have the jacks. Oh, this could get interesting here. So let's see what happens. Here, chip leader versus second in chips. And he just open shoves. Oh, wow. Before we see the decision, let's make some quick math here with the ICMizer to show you what is the best decision in this case. And funny enough, you can see that the small blind can push any two according to Nash equilibrium. He can just push any two cards and it's a good play. And if he's pushing really every two cards, then as the big blind, we could call from nines plus, and even nines are really, really close. Uh, I do think the small blind is aware of that, but also I think he will not push any two, so there's at least, yeah, let's go to maybe like something like 70%, and this is still also pretty close. I mean, I do think he's aware of that. He's a good player, so he knows he can push any two. But yeah, let's just adjust it a little bit, and just to show you how close those spots are here. So if he just pushes 70%, which is still so much, you just saw like I didn't put out that much, like really just the weak hands. Then even tens are only a plus minus zero call, and jacks is a pretty small plus. So you see like all the ICM that is in place. I mean, he's in second place, so he has would be guaranteed 80,000 right now. If he busts now, he gets 50K less. Uh, so yeah, I mean, even if we let me just quickly show, if he just pushes 60%, how much that changes it, and you see it's getting narrower and narrower. Uh, so yeah, I mean, we just go for the Nash equilibrium because he's a good player, as said, and he knows that. So you see, Jax is a plus EV call, but it's really close. So let's see if he pulls the call, if he pushes his chips in or not. I think he actually goes into, yeah, he's gonna go in a pretty long tank. So yeah, let's see. Then again, if he wins that pot, it's gonna be like almost 50 million. So he's gonna be the big chip leader. And yeah, he can be almost sure that he's not gonna run into queens, kings, or aces. So he decides to make the call, and let's see how this runs out. Brutal. Such a brutal turn for him. Yeah, so we lose him in fifth place for, as said, 30K, $30,738 to be exact. And yeah, now Ellen Sheik 400 has more than roughly 70% of the chips in play. Must be nice to run like that. Pretty good. But as said, he can push any two, so he just made the right play. And the big blind also made the right call here, even though it was close. Just got unlucky in this spot. But still, he gets a 30K band-aid to not be that sad. So yeah, we're down to 4 players. Let's see what happens here. There was a reshove. Let's see if someone Tony. I think you can open raise, maybe even open shove it here. Because he can just call so wide, and maybe it's even better to just take it directly. I think it's fine. Especially like him, he can't call that much. He could call a bit wider, but still, there's no need to risk it for him with something like king queen or whatever. Well, sick here. So he just, the push is just fine. We just had like almost a similar situation here. he just runs into aces, and we got the double up here. Let's move forward a bit. So let's see if the ace king or if the deuces might get in. He decides to limp. Okay. So maybe the deuces will over limp here. Okay, we're gonna forward. Yeah, they over limped. So yeah, this should go check, check, check. So they both already checked it. I don't really like that c-bet a lot. There's only two turn cards he wants to see. Everything else he needs to give up. And the big blinds range is so wide he can have, yeah, 6-7. Wow. Hits his, yeah, one of the two cards for him to continue. That's pretty sick. As said, like the big blinds range can be so wide here, so he can have, yeah, 7-8, 6-7, 8-9, 10-8, 10-7, whatever, to just continue. Now, of course, he has an easy turn bet here, also quite big, and I do think he should give it up here. He has his eight outs, but he's not getting the right price. He gets like 30%, and he has only, yeah, like 15% to get there. So disciplined fold, and I do think we will be seeing. He also again he goes for the limp here. So last time he induced the shove. I'm pretty sure it will happen this time again, that he just goes for the all in for its 24 big blinds effectively. And now the eights are pretty hard to call for him actually. We can again have a small look after this, yeah, after the small blind folds. And again, so here we see the limping with the pair of eights. Small blind pushes it in. I already calculated the Nash equilibrium. And here you see, yeah, the eights are a fold. Said like this. He's almost even with a big blind. Also, the cutoff is not that far ahead, so yeah, he can only call tens plus, and ace queen suited is almost plus minus zero, so he should fold the pair of eights. Let's see what he does. He goes for the call. So as we see, it's not a good call, but still, okay, so only four outs. No, so he doubles up. And it's now on a pretty good way. So let's continue here. Oh, wow. Ooh, sick play here. He goes for the 3-bet shove for 25 bigs. Okay, in general, it's a good play because he will open so wide, but that's just a big cooler. And of course, the queen's gonna go in. Let's see if he's able to fold here. Actually, like after the reshove, I do think ace king is a fold here. And yeah, he does make the fold. Wow, and he hits his two outer. Would have even won against ace king here. Oh, pretty nasty cooler here. But yeah, he doubles up, so he's now in a pretty good position. Cut the chip lead from him by, or is closing to his chip lead, and also put some space between him and the other two stacks. Here's just gonna be the turn bet, I'm sure, and yeah, he's gonna give it up. So let's go for the next bigger hand here. We have ace-8 in the big blind. Oh no, he opened and small and big blind called. To that sizing, I think, yeah, with a nut flush draw, you can just call. I know it's a bit hard when the small blind is there, but again, I think it's fine. And this will probably go check check sometimes. I don't think he can get a lot of value from other hands anymore. So let's see. I mean, yeah, his hand is just like a bluff catcher now. So let's see if Snowman Tony tries to go for the bluff. He does. And let's see if Mo is able to call. Of course, if he calls the turn, he might have some diamond flush draws, but the way this hand played, like after checking the flop and just calling the turn here, I don't think he has. Yeah, it's only the flush or nothing. So I think he should make the call here. But yeah, nice bluff by Snowman Tony. Gets a pretty important pot. And yeah, so let's continue here. Let's see, Snowman Tony, he did some shoving already, like with the ace deuce or with the ace six from the small blind last time when it was limped. Now he goes for the three bet, rather small one as well. Like he's going to be out of position, so I would raise it a bit bigger. But yeah, he's just going to get the fold from the button. Oh, and now we have queens versus tens. Don't think there's any other way than the all-in. And yeah, that's exactly what happens. And he makes quads on the river. I already flopped the set. Pretty nice. And yeah, like the resuck from the hand that just happened earlier where he lost his queens to the ace 10 of Mo S5. So yeah, let's continue here. Let's see if there are any bigger pots happening here. Open raise from Snowman Tony. And both the small and the big blind come along. Nice flop for Mo. Yeah, I'm sure you should just check it. There's not many cards that will lower his, yeah, will make his hand really worse. So, and now he even gets a bet, and I think with this kind of bet he can just shove it in. Also, like to protect at least for some flush draws, and yeah, he might if the other has like 10, he might even still get a call, but it looks really strong. Yeah, he does make the shove, so it looks really strong, and I think that Allen is not gonna call here. He does have top pair, but his kicker is not that good, and yeah, this shove just looks so strong. The only hand he would be in front of here maybe is like 8-9 hearts right now. That would be maybe the only hand that Mo would consider shoving here. Other than that, I don't think he will just shove blank 10 and like 10 deuce, 10-3 or so, even 10-6 he would probably just call. But he makes the call and is already drawing that. So nice double up with 3-6 here for Mo. And yeah, he was an open raise and a call. And this is probably going to be just a call as well. Yeah, now it's going to go check, check. And same for the river. I'm sure. Let's skip a bit. Yeah, was just check, check. So this two pair wins. See some nice little float here versus the small blind after limping limping pre-flop. I do think he's just going to continue, and then Alan is going to give it up on the turn. Yeah, exactly. We have an open shove here, which is not going to get called. This is also probably just a call. Okay, that's fine. Because of the stacks, he's going to be out of position if he gets called from the 3-bet, so I think just calling is fine. And what a dream flop for him. It's going to be really easy to continue here. And yeah, I don't think raising is a good idea because he just hit so much on the flop. It's really hard for a Brazilian guy to hit anything else. So now he picks up some equity. Let's see if he's going to continue on that or if he wants the free river to improve to his jade or maybe hit a king. Yeah, he goes for the check. And yeah, he can now go for value bet, maybe get some rivet 9 to call or some pocket pairs Alan might have. He did not seem to bluff that much so far, so yeah, I don't think checking is that good. So yeah, going for some small, rather small, was like 40%, 45%. So value bet is pretty nice. So let's skip a little bit. Ooh. I like the 3-bet actually. Of course, I'm really unfortunate to just meet the kings in the big blind there. It's gonna be a shove here for sure, and Ellen has to give up. Yeah, the fours have no business, and neither has the 10-6 suited. Here again, some raising for the button, and Snowman Tony goes for the shove from the small blind again. King 10 is a fold here. Let's give him a few seconds to see if he really does the fold. There's also been quite some deal negotiations throughout the tournament, but there was never one response from our guy from Brazil. So they just kept on playing. Okay, he's been taking. Yeah, he folded. I think we can just skip a little bit. Again here, the 3-bet. Really good. They're almost even in chips, but still he's first, so he can put a lot of pressure on him, and he needs to fold a lot. It's King 10 is a normal open, but then it's hard. Maybe he gonna peel here even one time. Yeah, he does. I think it's fine. It's fine. As he was the 3-bet aggressor pre-flop, I would like to see him continue here. Uh, in general, like after 3-betting, you can continue on almost every flop. And yeah, that's what he's doing. It's really hard for him to continue now. If he had at least ace 10, he can at least call the flop one time. Now with only king 10, he does have some backdoor draws, but it's hard for him to continue. I don't mind him calling once to maybe get some action on the turn. But yeah, he just goes for the fold, which is completely nice. Let's go here. We had some raise pre-flop and the call. He's continuing the flop with another call. Totally fine. The king high here, and he picks up some equity on the turn with a flush draw. So he's probably going to continue the turn. Yeah, that's exactly what he does. And now it's hard for him. Like if he calls, there's another 9 million pot at 60 million, so his stake to pot ratio is 1, and he can just shove a lot of rivers. I would believe if I'm in that situation that the king high is probably still good as he's opening so much, but it's just a really hard call to make. And you have another decision on the river lot, and only really a 10 makes you safe in that decision. Like even if you river a king or a jack, it's gonna be kind of hard. So he just called here and then folded to the C bet. We're gonna skip a little bit here. That could be a nice hand to check raise. with the open ender. Yeah, and that's exactly what he's doing. Also, pretty small check raise, kind of cheeky, but it will probably be enough to get Snowman to fold his overcards. He gets a pretty good price to just peel one, but yeah, he hasn't been check raising that much so far, so he's gonna give him some credit as well for exactly that. Okay, he decides here to limp call on the pre-flop. He checks the jack. I do think if he raises here, that he should continue on on most of the flops again, but checking is probably also fine because if he limp calls, his range is a bit tighter than actually 6-7 suited. I wouldn't think he would limp call that for a 4x open. But yeah, now on the turn, he just has an easy delayed c-bet. He even picks up a pair, but I don't think, yeah, he just folds that. Okay, let's go for some skipping. We had an open raise here and a defend from the big blind. This is gonna get. He might. I wouldn't mind him check raising here with the backdoor flush draw and the open ender, so pretty nice. But he just decides to go for the call. Turn is actually a good card for Mo to continue now with his third pair because it makes second pair a bit less possible. And ooh, he goes for the lead. Yeah, don't like the lead that much. I do think a lot of kings would have raised because of the stack to pot ratio both have, and he tries to represent a seven. If he goes for a block bet, I would have gone for a smaller one. And wow, he hits the river, and yeah, now he had to continue almost every river anyway now. So good for him that he hit it. And I would actually go maybe like a third now or so. So let's see. He even goes all in. Okay. Yeah, then it's an easy fold. Would be really tough. So let's see if there's any further action. Let's skip a few parts here. Some. Yeah, for example, here he goes for the raise. In this case, because the board is just kind of dry, I wouldn't mind sometimes just calling because he's not going to have that much, and he even has the ace of clubs. But in general, like check raising there is just fine. If he has like ace high, they will continue a lot as well because the big blind can be doing that rather light. And yeah, we now have another interesting one here for sure. This is gonna be a 3-bet, and let's see if Mo will go for the 4-bet shove or the flat call, or if he just folds it. I think because of the position, he needs to put another 3.5 million in. So he gets like 3.5 to 1 for that call. So I think he can just peel, at least see the flop with ace jack suited. Again, there hasn't been that much light 3-betting, so much only from him a bit, but it was always just okay. So yeah, I think the call is fine, but on that flop, he's now should just give it up when the continuation bet comes, which should come almost always. So maybe something like between, yeah, I would go for a smaller, like 3.5, 4 million, something like that. Yeah, 3 million is just fine. Yeah, Namo should just fold it. He has only like small backdoor chances there. Does have overcards, but again, Ronald hasn't been that crazy so far. Wow, he makes the call. I don't really like that call. But now, yeah, I mean, same again on the flop. As I said already, he should have folded there. Now the turn, same thing. He's probably just gonna put him all in. He has only 2/3 of the pot left. And yeah, he's gonna shove, and now he just has to give up. And yeah, that's exactly what he did. No other thing possible. Let's skip it here for a little bit. Here we have again, like that's some good check raising all in. He's gonna be a lot of continuation, so a second pair is gonna be good a lot of times, but then again, you don't want to give him a turn card. Yeah, nice play here, and yeah, he's getting the fold. Yeah, the ace king, easy open. Mo should fold here. I don't think 8-7 would be a good hand to like 3-bet shove. Or yeah, flatting is obviously even worse. So yeah, this should be. Oh, he actually goes for the check raise all in. Okay. Yeah, that's gonna be easy decision for Alan. And yeah, he just don't know what he's thanking for, to be honest, because there's no other bust out, as there are only four left. And yeah, there's the call. So let's see. Ooh, 8 on the flop, but king on the turn to seal the deal for the river. We lose him in fourth place for 42K. Pretty nice payout. And then here we already have the next big pot. And yeah, pretty standard to ace jack with ace king. Only 4 outs for Snowman Tony on. Ooh, what a river for him. Ronald hasn't been that lucky with all in so far. I mean, he won the tens versus queens, but lost queens to ace 10, now ace king for ace jack, and for such big, it was a 22K pay jump. Third place is 58K, and now he even shoves the king deuce into ace queen, and ooh, is flopped dead already. So we're saying GG to him. 58K as said for third place. And now both players are already locked up $80,000. First place is going to be $110. And Alan Sheik starts with a roughly 2.5 to 1 chip advantage. And yeah, let's skip into some interesting hands here. Yeah, we can take a look at this hand here. So there was an open raise. He flats. Flop's pretty nice for him. So easy call on the flop to his continuation bet. Let's see if he checks it behind. Okay. The runout is not the best for him. So now it's actually a good spot for him to bet. He's gonna have quite some overcards that he's continuing on the flop, and yeah, almost all the overcards are on the board right now, so it's hard to call for him. And yeah, nice bluff here. And as we see, he's closing the gap by a bit more and more. Yeah, asking for a deal. As I said at the beginning, Alan was not responding at all, so no chance for a deal here for Snowman Tony. And yeah, so he called the pre-flop, called on the flop as well, and also only calls the turn. I would have put in the check raise here quite a lot. And now it's just gonna check. Nice putt for him though. And yeah, let's skip a bit here. So pair hand. Yeah, there hasn't been that many action hands, to be honest, here. And the heads up, he came closer, as you see, was narrowing the gap, but after he was then after some time grinding it down. Yeah, I think he's just calling here. Continuing on the flop, pretty standard. Still think he should continue the turn here. Alan can call with quite some range here. I mean, he does have a double gutter, no, so I don't think, probably Alan will not fold here. And yeah, it's kind of hard for Tony to go for a third bet on the river if he calls twice. Might be a 10 a lot of times. Even a king can only call down. And now it's, yeah, snap fold. Pretty nice play from Alan. And then you see he's exceeding his chiplet now by quite some and was grinding him down from that on. As you see, he's getting lower and lower. Yeah, that's just gonna be a bad fold here. I think it's okay on the turn. They checked the flop, so on the turn he can go for a bet, but then of course he has to fold it. And yeah, as I said, he was then down to roughly 20 bigs. And yeah, because there was no deal, now this is gonna probably be the last hand. Yeah, raise call, 26 bigs, standard and heads up, both flop a pair, so the king is enough. And yeah, Alan Sheik just takes the Sunday Million home for a staggering $110,000. GG also to Snowman Tony for 80K as a second place finisher. And yeah, that was the Sunday Million from the 7th of July. I hope you liked my analysis of some of their more crucial hands. And if you like our videos in general, like leave us a subscription, follow our YouTube channel, and yeah, we'll be back for some other videos. So enjoy your day and see you next time. Bye.